Awesome. Thanks, Shane. Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining. And thanks to Shane and our friends and partners at Central Data for inviting us to join the presentation today and talk a little bit more about what we do and how we're partnering. We've been working in the Infor ecosystem for probably about a year and a half, but more recently started partnering with Central Data because we're both obviously in that ecosystem and providing value to Infor customers today. So that's what brought us together, and we'll spend the next half hour or so talking about what we do and how we add value to the Infor ecosystem, and we'll walk you through the solution a little bit, and then as Shane pointed out, answer some questions at the end. So without any further ado, I'll jump right in. As you can see from the tagline, our mission is to help Infor customers get more value and insights from your Infor data. And I'm happy to walk through kind of how that works. The business problem we focused on when we started providing the solution was that a lot of the companies we talked to in the distribution and manufacturing space didn't have efficient access to their ERP data in real time, and that a large percentage, 58% of execs, feel they relied too much on gut feel because it was too difficult to get deeper access or deeper insights from their data than just what was available directly through the Infor application itself. So we provide a solution that helps companies achieve that, and I'm going to walk you through how we do that today. So what is Precog? So Precog is a cloud-based solution. It is a SaaS tool. And so nothing is installed, locally in your environment or the customer environment. You access it on the web. It connects to any Infor application, obviously the distribution ones like CloudSuite and SXE, but also manufacturing systems like M3, LN, and Sightline. We connect to those through the Infor data lake or data fabric that they provide, and then we extract the data in an automated way. It's very simple to set up. We're going to go through it here in a few minutes and you'll see. We then load that data into a variety of different databases that you might use for analytics or data warehousing. SQL Server is very common in the Infor ecosystem, but also other things like Snowflake and Databricks and Google BigQuery and some more stuff, Postgres and a bunch of things. So we provide a wide variety of places for you to land that data. We land the data as a completely SQL-ready schema. It's fully typed and primary keys and all the things kind of listed in the bottom part of the purple box. You can start using your favorite BI or ML tool right away. So Power BI is very common, Tableau, Click, Looker Studio, Data Robot, lots of different tools that you can use to create dashboards and analytics and again, gain deeper insights into your data. And then we provide all of the syncing. Everything's kept up to date on any schedule you set. So, you can have the fresh data you need. And then obviously you can blend it with other data. So what does that look like? So obviously Infor in many cases is the core of your business, obviously, which is why you're here on the call today. Whether it's distribution or manufacturing, that's the core of your business. But you have other systems and you need to be able to blend that data together with these other systems to get more insights and to build that sort of 360-degree view of your company. So, Infor provides the ERP, but there's things like CPQ systems, which are price quote systems, warehouse management systems, manufacturing and execution systems, CRMs, and even FP&A, which are financial planning and analyzation tools and solutions. Companies are starting to use those more and more to be able to do forward-looking financial planning across all of their data. And being able to blend all of that together into a single place and then build that, again, sort of robust insights and 360-degree view, and even get into things like predictive analytics, where you're saying, you can do a better job of predicting inventory needs and shipping and warehouse management and things like that, so that you can create a more efficient and a more profitable business. So those are the kinds of things that we're helping companies solve. And we'll dig into that a little more in just a few minutes. So why did we create this? Well, a lot of folks, and we talk to them every day, there's many people already on Infor CloudSuite or SXE, but there's lots of companies still running these on premise, and they're in that process of moving to the cloud. When it was on premise, the access to the data was more straightforward. But as you move to the cloud and you're relying on the APIs provided by Infor Data Lake, it gets more challenging. And most solutions that you might have in your company today are poorly suited for this new cloud approach. So what kinds of options have you had historically? Well, build it with in-house developers or hire contractors to build things. That can take a long time, and there's a lot of maintenance and ongoing maintenance for that, and it can delay your time to insights. We see people with manual workarounds. Well, I can download CSVs and spreadsheets from the different modules within Infor and my warehouse management system and things like that. But again, it's a slow and sort of brittle process and can be error prone and not great. And go without. A lot of companies just say, well, I'll just kind of do the best I can with what I've got. Those are all legitimate approaches in some form, I guess, but in the end, they're just going to not provide the insights that you need to be able to get more value from your data and run your companies better, which is really what companies are trying to do. So what we provide is a platform that solves that problem. We connect directly to the Infor Data Lake or Data Fabric. We provide faster time to value. You can actually have this solution up and running literally in 15 minutes, and I'll show you how that works in a few minutes. You're going to get deeper insights into your data, and we provide pricing, predictability, and transparency, so you know exactly what it's going to cost you before you take a step forward. So what are some of the different use cases we've seen? And this isn't meant to be a comprehensive, there's companies using our platform to do lots of things, but these are some of the things that we've heard from our customers when we talk to them today. Drive cost intelligence. So connect your distribution data and your financial systems and your warehouse management systems and be able to understand, things like improved margin and profitability and things like that. Manage supplier performance, be able to understand which suppliers are doing better than others and being able to focus on them and drive costs down in your business in that way. Accelerate revenue cycles by centralizing data from both your Infor systems, but also, again, things like warehouse management systems and other financial tools, and as well as shipping providers, you can accelerate revenue cycle. I mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot of interest around forward-looking analytics like predictive analytics. So being able to model out demand and demand planning and things like that. And then just improving production visibility or distribution visibility across the entire supply chain. So those are just some examples of things where we've seen people, use these tools. I'm sure there's 100 others everyone on this call can think of. So I'll jump out of here and go over to my Precog platform now and just quickly walk you through how it works and how you can get set up if you're interested. So this is Precog. When you first log in, this is what you'll see. Shane, just checking, everyone can see my screen okay?
Yeah, you look great.
Okay, awesome. So again, this is what you'll see when you first log in. In your case, or the people on this call, you would go here and search for Infor, and you would see in this case the Data Fabric or Data Lake. I'll select the Data Lake. All you need to connect is there's something called an ION API key. And this is very easy to get. We give you some basic instructions here, but your Infor support team could easily provide this or tell you how to get this. So you simply give the source a name, Infor, maybe hyphen your company or something like that. Select that file. The API key is just a file. It's a little JSON file that they give you, or you get from your application. And then you just select it and plug it in here and hit Create Connector. I'll go back since I already have it set up. And once you've connected, you'll just see something that looks like this. It'll, again, typically say your company name. I put my company name in here. You'll click on that. It will show you all of the available data sets from your Infor application. And you can see there's lots of them. And I'm sure some of these names look familiar, but there's many, 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 many. You can select all of them by simply clicking this button, or you can just select the ones you're interested in. You might say, oh, I only want this one or this one. So you would select the data sets you're interested in. Once you've done that, you'll say continue. And this is where you would set up the destination, where you want this data loaded. Again, SQL Server is very common, Snowflake, but we support lots of other things, Redshift and BigQuery and some other things like that. So I will jump over here since I already have done this, and you can see I've already built this pipeline here. So once you've selected your destination and selected your data sets, you will have a pipeline, and it will look something like this. And a pipeline consists of some number of data sets that you've selected, a destination or a database or data warehouse where you want that information to go. And you can see I've selected, half a dozen or so data sets. I wrote them out to this database about an hour ago. And then you would add a schedule, and you can schedule it for whatever is appropriate. So you would click on Add Schedule, and you can see you've got a bunch of choices here. These are common choices that a lot of our customers are interested in, but you're not limited to these. You can actually create custom schedules for almost anything you want. These are just some of the more popular ones. I'll just leave it at once a day for simplicity for now and hit save. And at any time, you can go in and just reload the data by hitting Start Load. You can add data sets by hitting Add Data Set. Here, you would click on that and then go back to the Infor source. Sorry, my internet's a little slow today. Click on Infor again, and then pick something new that we haven't picked before. I'll just scroll down and pick something I don't think I've picked before. I'll do this one, the CRET, hit Add, and then it takes you back to the pipeline, and you can see it started loading this CRET data here, and we'll add it to the list of loaded data sets up there in just a minute. Same process to remove any data sets. If you're like, oh, I don't need these, you just click that and remove the ones you don't want. It'll take them out of the pipeline. Anytime you see issues, something's not working correctly, the data doesn't look right, you can report it directly through the platform here. And then there's also an additional feature that configures something called a webhook, which basically, if you're trying to do sort of more advanced predictive analytics, sometimes you'll need to build data models on top of the data that you've loaded into, say, SQL Server. And you can configure a webhook to make that run every time we update the data. So maybe you tell Precog, hey, update this data once an hour. That model will run and give you that more advanced data model that you might need to do predictive analytics or something like that. So there's lots of features in the platform. You can go up here and get load history to determine, how many loads you've had in the past and data volumes and things like that. But that's the entire process. Once you go back here, you'll see the different pipelines that you've created. This is the one, of course, we were just looking at. You can have as many pipelines as you want. Why might you have more than one pipeline? You might have different applications that you want to load in for, and maybe, again, a warehouse management system or an FP&A tool or something. You can put those in the same pipeline, but you also might put them in different pipelines. But they all end up in the same destination, so you can still blend those together. Now let's jump over. And in my case, I loaded this data that we see here into my Snowflake data warehouse. That's just what I use. When I jump over here, you can see this is the schemas that I have. Here's the one I created for Infor. I click on that and it shows the tables. These are those data sets, that 7 data sets that I loaded earlier today. I click on one of those, and if I go, say, preview data, unfortunately the data is a little boring because it's all test data. It's just mostly zeros because this is just a test instance. But you can see it lays it out in a nice, tabular format, exactly what you'd expect to see if you're trying to build reports with Power BI or Tableau. It's no longer the JSON data that comes from the Infor Data Lake API. So you can just sift through here. These tables are ready to go. You can start, literally dragging these tables onto the canvas in your Power BI or Tableau tool, and it'll join them together, and you can start building reports, instantly. So that's what it looks like once it's in the database. And again, this is Snowflake, but SQL Server looks very similar. There may be people on the call that are used to that environment, so you'll see stuff like that. So I will jump back over here and finish walking through the slides. And then, of course, there's plenty of time at the end for questions. We do have some case studies on our website. If you go to precog.com, you can see some examples. Biamp is an Infor customer using one of the manufacturing platforms. In their case, they were able to reduce the time to onboard new data from 5 days to 5 hours. They are blending data from a number of systems, not just their Infor systems. And we have many, many other customers. This is just one example of a use case. We have many other Infor customers, again, using both the distribution platforms as well as the manufacturing platforms. How can you reach out to us or get in touch with us? There's a few different ways. You can go to precog.com and request a trial account. We'll help you get that set up. It's very easy to do. You saw I just went through it, in 10 minutes here, and that's literally all it takes. You'll just need to get your Ion API key from your Infor platform ahead of time, and obviously determine where you'd like that data to go. Which database inside your enterprise. Most companies have a database they'd like to use, but I will point out that we occasionally will talk to a company that doesn't have something they want to use, and we can provide a database as part of your Precog account if you like that. We do provide it as a Snowflake account, which is, if you're not aware, a popular cloud data warehouse platform. We do have that option, and in that case, you really don't need anything other than your Power BI or your Tableau or even Excel just to be able to start building reports and analyzing the data. So again, we're happy to help you do that. Just go to the website and there's a form to request a trial account, and you can see it highlighted up here. The other option is it's a few months away, but we will be an elite sponsor at Infor Velocity Days and TechX in Orlando, Florida. So we're looking forward to that and a chance to meet with a bunch of our current customers, as well as hopefully some new folks, and obviously spend time with our partners at Central Data. So I think that's it for the planned remarks and the demo. That went pretty quick, but I'll pause here and go back to, let me see, I can stop the sharing and we'll go back to the webinar and open it up for questions.
Yeah, that was good, Jeff.
Thanks.
Short and sweet.
It's straightforward. We're trying to make this easy for folks. This stuff shouldn't be hard.